Thank you very much, Neha, for that introduction. And we all saw the unveiling of the report on online fantasy sports, creating a virtuous cycle of sports development. In the past few days, it was our pleasure working on this particular report, interacting with various parties involved in this particular sector, discussing, and it was a very, very enriching journey that we went through, and it was really, really exciting. I hope as readers, you all find it exciting and find some bits of insights into this, which would help you in your journey and your interests and pursuits per se. So, as we move along, I look into this where the broad ecosystem is something that we need to look into before we deep dive into the online fantasy sports market and the impact itself. So India, as we all know, our advantage is our strong base of population. We have exorbitant, highly energetic youth population, which is forming base of our overall 1.4 billion this thing. So, and if you look at it, it's just not population. We are creating a large amount of economic activity with this as well. So India is ranked fifth largest when it comes to economy as such. So we have all the strong makings which is required for any kind of sector and industry to boom and flourish. So now if we deep dive a little bit and look into the sector of sports, and are Indians interested in sports? How is the sports market growing in India? We see that the market in India for sports is growing at 3 times the speed of what's we see across other parts of the globe per se. So we have a large population which is creating a large economy and economic activity. They're interested in sports, and then just not being interested in sports, they are giving active support and participation towards sporting activities. So we had about 80 crores sport viewers when all of it put together, the major sporting events which came through. While cricket forms majority of these things, we are seeing the growth of other sports which are coming in and picking it up as we go along. Classic example of this is our performance in the Tokyo Olympics. So while we are ranked at 48, one may say 48, no great thing, but where did we come from? What is the kind of performance in the past, and which are the areas in which we excelled? How did we perform? It's just not the men's team performing, the men's and women's team all performing very well. So this goes long way to inspiring our youth to take up sports and sporting profession per se. And then with this goes a bunch of young kids playing the sports, following the sports, which all in the making of a bright future for the sector per se. Okay, so now let's just dive into the online fantasy sports market and what kind of impact it's creating. So some of the findings are here from the report that we just got unveiled per se. So how many players are playing the online fantasy sports? So any guesses? So let's not wait too long and move to the next slide over here and then see how many players are playing. We have 13 crore Indians playing online fantasy sports. That's a large user base as we look into. But then when you put it in perspective of our population, 1.4 billion, 13 crore is a small population. So where have we got from here to look ahead? It's a very, very large journey per se. What is it that they're playing with? Are they playing always with money? What kind of money does it take? Can it be played by one without money? These are some questions that we keep jumping on our heads. So 80% of the users played at some point of time free games as well. So it's not that it's all about money. People want to enjoy the sport. They want to create the teams of their own. They want to feel empowered. If you look at a cricket match with your friends, you're not watching it unless you made your expert commentary on it. Oh, he should have come to bowl. This guy should have opened the innings. So you can make it happen in your online fantasy contest, right? So that's what's drawing people into this. 80% of them have played at some point of time a free game. What is the kind of thing. Can I enter it? Is it affordable? If I have to play a money game, is it a paid game as such? So entry fees, average, if you look into it, is about 35 rupees, as we call as contest entry amount into this. So then, if you look into this, a large number of games are structured in a way that 50% of the users who entered this contest got back their contest entry fees or the participation fees per se. So that's the maybe some of the aspects which are driving and attracting people to come ahead and play this. One other interesting fact that we noticed is 60% of the users who basically played online fantasy sports, their engagement and following in terms of sports events increased. This is a study which was conducted by IFSG, and then this kind of a result came out on this particular thing. So that is heartening to see that not only players are just playing onto this, that means they're sharpening their skill sets by watching the game online and following it as well. So looking into it, where are these players? Are they in the main cities? Are they spread across India? So one other thing that came into light when we looked into this is Tier 2, Tier 3 cities contributed to 50% of the players and the activity on the platform. That's something that was revealing as we look through this. Who's playing this? Is it the youth? Is it only the older guys? Who's playing this? So that was another interesting question that everyone would have in their minds. So what we got to see is users in the age group of 25 to 40 years age group were the maximum number of people who were playing this. So 59% of the user base came from this age group as such. So that's another interesting fact that we got to see as we went through this study. Some more aspects as we look into this. What is the industry size? What is the kind of revenue that the online fantasy sports operators are making in, etc.? So overall, we spoke about something called as contest entry fees, right? If you aggregate all the contest entry fees in the FY21 period per se, we estimate that it was about 30,000 crores is the total kind of contest entry fees which came in. Of course, some of them can't be measured because people are playing free games as well, that you cannot, that doesn't get added up to this number as such. Then there is about 10 to 15% of the contest entry fees becomes the revenue of the operators. So that figure we estimate to be around 4,400 crores at this point of time. So also, not only this created in terms of winning to the players, it created a bunch of contest entry fees, which is overall market size per se, and resulting in positive revenues to the operators. It also contributed towards the GST, the tax contribution to the government. So 800 crores of GST was paid by these due to these events per se. So there is again direct and indirect revenue associated with it. Direct revenue we spoke about how it gets the overall contest entry fees into 10 to 15% will be 4,400. If you look at indirect revenue generated out of this, those are things like your affiliated industry, advertisements, sponsorships, what do you say, technology industry, which is required to power this engine overall, AI, ML, cloud infrastructure, the UI UX per se, the customer prediction engines. So these are some things which are also getting a boost with the online fantasy sports industry as such. So that is pegged at about 4,700 crores at this point of time. What is the kind of international interest that is coming here? What is the kind of investments? So till date, we see about 3,500 crores of investments which are coming to this sector per se. It's further, in the next slide, we'll see some bit of projections as to how it's expected to go forward. In terms of job creation, so there is direct job creation and there's indirect job creation again. So put together direct and indirect job creation, like how we explained, people who are working directly with these organizations, etc. People who are working in the indirect part of it, coming in terms of those industries that we mentioned, sporting bodies, etc. So that comes to about 8,400 as such. So now, if we take a minute to glance across some of the aspects of this sunshine sector, what we see is in 2025, what we see as 30,000 may grow to about 89,000 crore. So that's the kind of expectations that we have there. what we see as 4,400 crore right now may grow up to 13,300 by 2025. Then if you look at the indirect revenue potential, we saw in the previous slide, that's about 4,750. That can grow up to 14,300 as well. So that's the kind of number that we're looking at. When we look at tax contribution, there are multiple types of tax, right? GST we spoke of in the previous slide. There is tax on winnings, which are, there's a player who contests and he wins, say, a few lakhs, and there is a TDS on that, which again, income tax on that, which goes into the exchequer. There is corporate taxes which go into this. So when you put all of this together, we expect about 15,000 crores by, again, FY 25, sorry. So again, the foreign direct investment which we're looking at cumulative till now stands at 3,500, right? So we expect further about 6,500 crores of investments to flow in. And by FY21, we expect that number to reach around 10,000 crores. So this is the outlook. Now we look at where the industry is, where are we thinking it's going to go into, and then some things about what are the other things that it's doing. Okay, is it all about money? What are the other things that it's contributing to? So if you look into this wagon wheel and the virtuous circle, as we call it, in terms of sports development, we look at it that it's going towards and creating a sports consumption and viewership. The number of people who are watching this are going up. We are seeing that in the one of the statistics that we looked into. It's creating a sporting culture within the viewers as it's going in. It's bringing in investments. It's bringing in transactions in terms of digital commerce transactions. It's increasing the adoption of sports in terms of kids. We see that these platforms are now again trying to grow big. So hence with it comes marketing revenues that they're spending on the amount that they see. It's a cycle, right? If there is no sports, there is no fantasy sports as such, right? Both are very tightly knit with each other. So they're investing in infrastructure development. They're investing in athletes and coaches promotion. They're investing in brand sponsorships for some of the players, etc. So all of this is kind of creating a snowball effect and keeping the sports industry growing at this point of time. So this is broadly what the report talks about. So what I do right now is stop at this, and maybe we have a panel discussion coming up with Nikhil Vyas and Joy Bhattacharya. So we will pick this up and ask them a few more questions on their views about the industry and how it's going across. So let me take a pause at this. Thank you all.